The full story of Harry Styles, from small-town dreamer to global superstar. What if I told you that one of the biggest stars in the world almost lived a completely ordinary life? A boy from a quiet English town, working at a bakery, dreaming about music without knowing if anyone would ever hear his voice. But today, that same person is selling out stadiums across the globe, breaking records, redefining fashion, and becoming one of the most influential artists of this generation. This is the complete story of Harry Styles. How he became successful, what he was doing before fame, the people who shaped his journey, what his fans really think about him, and where his future might be heading. And trust me, some parts of this story might surprise you. Before the awards, before the sold-out tours, before millions of fans around the world, there was just a young boy with a big dream. Let's start from the beginning, childhood and early life. Harry Edward Styles was born on February 1st, 1994, in Redditch, England, and grew up in a village called Holmes Chapel in Cheshire. His life was very normal, the kind of life that doesn't scream future superstar. Harry grew up with his mother, Anne, his father, Des, and his older sister, Gemma. But when Harry was about 7 years old, his parents separated. While this could have been difficult, his family remained supportive and close. In interviews later on, Harry often credits his mother for encouraging him to be himself and follow what he loved. And what he loved was music. Even as a kid, Harry was fascinated with singing. He listened to classic artists like Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Coldplay, and Fleetwood Mac. Those sounds would later influence the kind of music he made as a solo artist. But at the time, he was just a kid singing around the house and at school. No one knew yet that he would become one of the biggest performers of the 21st century. Life before fame. Before entering the music industry, Harry lived a pretty regular teenage life. He attended Holmes Chapel Comprehensive School. And, believe it or not, Harry had a normal job. He worked at a bakery. Yes, before stadium tours and Grammys, Harry Styles was serving customers and baking bread at a local bakery called W. Mandeville Bakery. Fans love this detail because it shows how humble his beginnings were, but music was always calling him. During his school years, Harry formed a band with his friends called White Eskimo. And this band actually started getting attention locally. They even won a Battle of the Bands competition. This was one of the first signs that Harry might actually have something special. Still, becoming a global superstar seemed almost impossible at the time. Until one decision changed everything. The audition that changed his life. In 2010, at just 16 years old, Harry auditioned for a show that would change his life forever. The X Factor UK. At the time, Harry didn't know exactly what would happen. He just knew he wanted a chance. He walked onto that stage and sang "Isn't She Lovely" by Stevie Wonder. And immediately, the judges noticed something. It wasn't just his voice, it was his personality, his confidence, his charm. But here's where the story takes a major turn. Harry didn't make it through as a solo artist. Instead, something unexpected happened. The judges decided to place him into a group with 4 other contestants: Niall Horan, Zayn, Malik, Liam Payne, and Louis Tomlinson. That group would become One Direction. At the time, nobody knew that this group would become one of the most successful boy bands in history. But the chemistry was undeniable. One Direction era. Although One Direction finished 3rd on the X Factor, they quickly became the biggest success story from the show. The group signed a record deal and released their debut single, What Makes You Beautiful. The song exploded worldwide. Suddenly, 5 young guys from different backgrounds became global icons. Over the next few years, One Direction dominated the music industry. Albums broke records, tours sold out instantly. Fans around the world formed an incredibly passionate community. During this time, Harry began to stand out, not just as a singer, but as a personality and performer. People noticed his stage presence, his humour, his unique fashion style, and his connection with fans. But behind the scenes, something important was happening. Harry was learning. He was studying music, understanding songwriting, meeting producers and artists, developing his own artistic vision. And he was building relationships with important people in the music world. Some of the key industry figures Harry worked with during this period included top producers, songwriters, creative directors, fashion designers, tour managers. These connections would later help shape his solo career. When everything changed after years of non-stop success, One Direction decided to take a break in 2016. This moment was huge. Fans were emotional. Many wondered what would happen next. Would Harry go solo? Would he disappear from music? Or would he reinvent himself completely? Harry made a bold move. Instead of rushing into pop music like many expected, he took time to craft something different. He studied legendary performers like David Bowie, Mick Jagger, Prince, Freddie Mercury. He wanted his music to feel timeless, not just trendy. And that decision changed everything. The solo career explosion. In 2017, Harry released his first solo single, Sign of the Times. The song surprised many people. It wasn't a typical pop track. It was emotional, dramatic, and powerful. And it worked. The world realized that Harry Styles wasn't just a former boy band member. He was a serious artist. His first album was critically praised, and his later albums, including Fine Line and Harry's House, pushed him even further into global superstardom. Songs like Watermelon Sugar, Adore You As It Was became massive hits. And Harry's concerts, they became legendary experiences. Fans describe his shows as emotional, inclusive, energetic safe spaces for self-expression. The people who shaped his journey throughout his career, Harry has met and worked with many important people who influenced him. Music producers and collaborators, fashion icons and designers, film directors, actors, songwriters. He even stepped into acting, appearing in major films like Dunkirk and others that expanded his career beyond music. Many people in the industry say Harry stands out because he listens, learns, and respects the creative process. Though that's part of why so many artists enjoy working with him. What fans think about him? Harry's audience is one of the most dedicated fan communities in the world. Fans often describe him as authentic, kind, supportive, creative, different from other pop stars. Many fans say he helped them feel more confident about expressing themselves. His concerts often feel less like performances and more like shared experiences. And his fashion choices, breaking traditional gender norms, have made him a cultural icon. For many people, Harry represents freedom. Harry Styles' future goals. So what's next for Harry Styles? While he hasn't revealed everything, there are clear signs of where he might be heading. More music experimentation, more acting roles, creative direction projects, expanding his fashion influence, possibly producing films or music. One thing is certain. Harry doesn't like staying the same. He evolves with every era. And that's exactly why his career keeps growing. From a small-town teenager working at a bakery, to a member of one of the biggest boy bands ever, to a global solo superstar. Harry Styles' story is proof that success doesn't always follow a straight path. Sometimes it starts with a dream, a risk, and one opportunity that changes everything. And the most interesting part, his story is still being written. So the real question is, what will Harry Styles do next? And will it surprise the world again? Outro. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Harry Styles' journey, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment below. Do you think Harry Styles will become one of the greatest artists of all time? Or is his biggest era still ahead of him?